The Los Angeles Clippers. When I say that NBA franchise name, what is the first word that comes to your mind? For many seasons, the word was curse. The Clippers curse was a very real thing. But over the course of the past decade, this Clippers team has been very interesting to say the least. On paper, you would think they would be good for at least one championship or a conference finals appearance, something like that. Going back to the Blake Griffin, Chris Paul days up until now with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. But here we are in the 2021 NBA playoffs, and it looks like a lot of the same. Mishandled lineups, lack of coaching adjustments, and really strategy whatsoever defensively and offensively. Moves during the offseason and during the season, and all sorts of things that have fans and really fans of the game itself questioning what is this Clippers team doing and what's going on exactly. For today's video, guys, we are going to be discussing this Clippers team, some of the mistakes they made early on in the NBA playoffs, and hopefully some of the changes they can make going forward to not ideally get swept by the Dallas Mavericks. Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakes here. So here we are, another year of the playoffs and another year of us talking about how the LA Clippers are simply making so many mistakes out there. Now, there's a chance you're watching this video and the playoffs are over with and the LA Clippers came back and they end up winning the NBA championship. You're like, yo, Crispy, that's a bad take. Well, I'm talking about in this moment, the LA Clippers are down 2-0 to the Dallas Mavericks in the first round of the playoffs, and it's simply unacceptable for so many reasons. You know, for a while there, we all thought that Doc Rivers was like the problem with the Clippers, and here we are again, man. Now we got Tyronn Lue that is maybe in a way showing his just like lack of experience as a head coach, and what I mean by that is going back to the Cleveland Cavaliers days. I mean, he had LeBron James, right, man? He had LeBron James. Now he has Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, and it's simply really not leading to success in the moment of me making this video. So before we get going on this video, guys, remember, man, for every 100 likes this video gets, I will do one push-up at the end of the video. I think I have like 17 to do today, so thank you guys so much for the crispy support here on the videos. But let's get right into it, okay? So the title of this video is the $64 million mistake. You guys all know who I'm about to talk about. One of my favorite players in the NBA, but I am going to have a realistic take on him, guys, in being Luke Kennard. So we are going to talk about some of the other issues with the Clippers this season, well, really this playoff series, I should say. But I want to start off with Luke Kennard just because I feel like it's a good starting point for really showing, you know, early on in the series, the lack of adaptability for the head coach and the Clippers as an organization, and really just trying out something new after seeing all these different things not really working. So Luke Kennard in the offseason was traded over to the LA Clippers. It was a 3-team trade in which my Detroit Pistons got the Nets draft pick, the Nets got Landry Shamet, and Luke Kennard went over to the Clippers, and they signed him to a $64 million contract, man. Now, Luke Kennard, for me watching him over the course of the past few seasons on the Pistons, I understand the defensive woes. I understand the defense is not there, but as far as him being a great three-point shooter, by the way, the Clippers not shooting the greatest from three. I mean, you know, there's a few guys doing okay from there in this series, but overall, man, like they really could use Luke Kennard's three-point shooting. But here's the biggest issue with me, man, is that, you know, for example, they're playing somebody like a Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley is out there to guard, you know, Luka Doncic and play defense on him, and, you know, that's supposed to be his thing, his skill set. So far, Luka Doncic is absolutely torching Patrick Beverley, making him absolutely useless out there, man. If your job is to play defense and you ain't playing defense, what the hell you gonna do, Patrick? Is this the Krusty Krab? No, this is bitch-ass defense, Patrick Beverley, bro. I don't get it, man. Right now, in the playoffs, Patrick Beverley averaging about, you know, 6 points, 1 to 2 assists for your damn point guard, and giving up damn 35 points a game to Luka Doncic. Now, a lot of that comes down to also just the lack of the coaching adaptability when it comes to defense, man. A lot of times you're seeing guys like Zubats get lost, you know, in the pick and roll, and he's stuck, you know, playing isolation defense on Luka Doncic. Like, that's just bad right there, which brings on a whole nother course of issues. But let's talk a little bit more about Luke Kennard, and we'll talk more about the defense and who's not playing, who should be playing, and all that stuff, right, man? So, yeah, by adding Luke Kennard to this lineup, I don't care if you go as far as doing like a small ball lineup, man, because if you're already playing bad defense on the Mavericks, then, I mean, by putting Luke Kennard out there, you're not really getting worse defensively because you're already playing bad damn defense, man. I'd rather have Luke out there shooting his damn near 45% from three, whatever it is at this point in this video, and giving some offense, and, you know, maybe giving up some points to Dorian Finney-Smith or Tim Hardaway, who, by the way, is already torching the Clippers in his own way, as opposed to having Patrick Beverley out there who's getting torched already and not providing any offense, man. To me, that just makes sense. last season, this Dallas Mavericks team had one of, if not like the greatest offensively efficient seasons of all time. Now, I do take that with a grain of salt just because that more shows like the adaptability. I think I've said adaptability like 20 times in this video, man. It just shows like the change of the NBA game, right? Like this season, I think there's like 7 teams this season in the top 10 all time in offensive efficiency. It's something like that. Don't quote me on that. But that just goes to show like this Mavericks team, when they want to click, man, they can click hard. They can damn click hard out there, right? So you already look at on the paper, you see Patrick Beverley, you see Kawhi Leonard, you see Paul George, like, yo, this is supposed to be a good defensive team. But I think this is a good attest to how great the Dallas Mavericks offense can really be at times. And it's like Tony Stark said, man, you know, Iron Man 1, like, what's the greatest defense? A better offense. So I think you got to go out there. You got to ditch the whole defensive thing. It's not working. I'm sorry, man. You know, defense wins games. That's like an early 2000s, 80s, 90s mindset. It's not really the case anymore. I mean, defense helps win games, but when you're not playing it, you got to have the better offense, right? And that's going to help by putting your best offensive players out there. Another guy that I would like to see play more, you know, Terrence Mann. Him at times with Luke Kennard led some really great comebacks this NBA season for the Clippers team. And I don't know. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. But you go beyond that. You want to know another guy that I don't understand is not playing at all? Serge Ibaka. Like, Serge Ibaka last year on the Toronto Raptors had, like, his best season in the NBA. I understand that he's not, like, the same, like, athletic or defensive player he once was. But, I mean, I'm going to trust, you know, Serge Ibaka's ability to move on defense over, you know, Zubac's getting stuck in top of the key every single time with the pick and roll, man. Like, I'm going to trust that more. The dude's got 9 minutes. I averaged a game in the playoff series. I think last game he played like 5 minutes or something like that, right, man? And he's still got two damn blocks a game. I know defense. I know blocks are not like the greatest measure of defense, but Zubac has like 0.5. So it's almost like this team, they're almost like scared of Kristaps Porzingis. Like, they're afraid to try getting a little bit smaller out there. I think Zubac is 7 foot, so they're just like 6'9", 6'10", so it's not like that big of a height difference. But regardless, man, they're afraid to get smaller and quicker because they think Kristaps is just going to torch whoever's out there. I will say, Porzingis, he's a good NBA player. Like, there's no denying that. But at the same time, Porzingis is a guy that doesn't always know how to use his height to his advantage. Like, I would be okay trying some small ball stuff out there and putting a guy like Kawhi on Porzingis and seeing what happens. Like, I think he can handle that. No doubt in my mind, man. So, okay. So they're paying Luke Kennard $64 million to not be part of the rotation. And as a result, they got guys like Patrick Beverley or Reggie Jackson, man. I mean, Reggie Jackson, yes, he scores the basketball, but he's like the most like efficiently inefficient player of all time, which he's very efficient at being inefficient is what I mean by that. Yeah, he scored some points last games, but he's shooting, I got to split right here, man. We got Reggie Jackson on this season, man, averaging, dear God, man, shooting 33%, man. 27% from 3. I can do that shit, bro. Give me the damn 50 shots a game, man. I can make 27%. Then I'll wake up and I'll go to the gym and I'll shoot 7%, but that doesn't matter. I'm not in the NBA, right, man? And like Reggie Jackson ain't exactly win no defensive player of the year, so I don't really understand that. Luke Kennard can actually kind of handle the basketball and make some plays too. He was showing it at points last year on the Detroit Pistons, but that will never happen. He'll never run point guard. So here's my issue though, man. This Clippers team, they're once again just showing a complete lack of chemistry. We all knew that last year too. Like, they ended up getting Rondo in the around the NBA trade deadline, I believe it was. That was part of the Lou Williams trade with the Atlanta Hawks. It didn't really work out over there. But the thing about playoff Rondo is that he always kind of sneaks up on you, and that's what makes him so great. Like, they could not go into the trade deadline and going into the second half of the season relying on playoff Rondo, because what makes him such a difference maker is what he already adds to a team later on in the season. So if your team's already playing great basketball and then playoff Rondo shows up, that's just damn gravy out there, baby. That's gravy, man. Brown gravy, or do you like turkey gravy? I like brown gravy personally, man, but that's just my opinion. Chicken gravy is pretty good too. But regardless, so Rondo's not really solving their issues. I mean, yes, he is adding a level of playmaking. He's averaging like 5-6 assists so far in these 2 games, so he is adding that at least. But yet again, man, it just seems like a team of guys out there just playing for themselves. It's not fluent basketball. It's not fluent basketball, man. Realistically speaking, you know, they should have. I mean, I actually kind of liked Landry Shamet on the Clippers. I thought he was a decent player. But even so, okay, the Nets were obviously interested in him. So you could have literally traded Landry Shamet to the Nets, and you could have just got that 18th pick in the draft, that the Pistons, or 19th pick, whatever it was, and you all could have had Sadiq Bey or somebody else out there. Regardless, maybe you guys would have got a point guard, somebody. I don't really know, but somebody would have been available there, and that you would have been paying on a rookie contract, and maybe actually like would have fit the team a bit better. I just don't think Luke Kennard fits all that much, right, man? Because you don't typically, I know Kawhi and Paul George typically don't like run the power forward position, so all of a sudden you got to run them at the 2 and 3 spot. Although at times, it's like they're forced to play certain positions because it's like, you just have to do that, right? You just have to do that. But yeah, man, like, Luke Kennard just, it seems like long-term is just not going to work, and I don't really see a team training for his contract, though. I'll think back in Detroit, man, right now, man, but buyout contract, of course. You all can have the rights to Blake Griffin again. How about that? So, yeah, man, fact of the matter, though, is that contract, or I'm sorry, that $64 million could have saved it, and the one guy I've been saying forever now, man, forever, that they needed to go after, Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry would have solved so much issues on this team. He would have brought together the chemistry, having it already with Kawhi Leonard and with Serge Ibaka. But also, he would have been the perfect guy for, if Paul George misses a game or Kawhi misses a game because of load management. He's a guy that could have been that second scoring option at times, but also would have been content being a third or fourth scoring option if absolutely needed. Like, Kyle Lowry is that type of guy out there. Not to mention, he would have been coached by, assistant coach Chauncey Billups. In my opinion, Kyle Lowry is the Chauncey Billups of this era. He just reminds me so much of him, man. I feel like it just would have been an absolutely perfect fit. He would have solved so much for this team. He's a championship point guard. He knows how to get it done. It would have fixed everything. But they didn't do it. They didn't do it, man. So where does this leave us? Well, at this moment, it's looking like a damn sweep. Now, I don't think Kawhi and Paul George are going to get sweep, but who knows? I've seen crazier things happen in the NBA. But at this moment, man, it's not looking like they're going to win the series, to say the least. So what do you do at that point? You got Marcus Morris signed to all this money. He's been non-existent this series. I think Patrick Beverley's on a decently sized contract for what he brings. Luke Kennard's contract is just starting. I actually think he's still on his rookie deal technically right now. I think the contract actually comes into effect next season. So that's going to be the 4 years, $64 million, whatever it is. Kawhi's going to want to get paid. I mean, Paul George has his contract. And while Paul George is actually doing decent at times this series, he's had his ups and downs. He's doing fine. He's averaging what is he averaging, man? About 26 points per game. 3 balls not really falling. But overall, he's shooting about 50% from the field. So that's fine, I guess. But, he's proving in his career that he's not somebody you can rely on in the playoffs. So where does that leave Kawhi Leonard, man? Where does that leave this team available to change? I don't know, man. I'm calling it right now. I mean, I know Kawhi wanted to be on the Clippers. But once, what we always, in life, we dream about certain circumstances. And then you get there, and then reality kind of sets in, and you're just like, this isn't what it all come out to be. I mean, at this moment, to me, it looks like Kawhi should stay on the damn Raptors. He was in such a perfect situation. The team was built beautifully around him. I don't know, man. I could see him very well, if they lose in the first round, leaving the team. Going to a team like, people said the Golden State Warriors is an option. I mean, it's a good fit. Kawhi Leonard anywhere is a good fit. It's actually really funny, man. I did a Kawhi Leonard video a little while ago, and it's so funny because you'll be like, you get fans of every single team saying, man, can you imagine Kawhi Leonard on the Sacramento Kings? Man, he'd be a perfect fit. Yo, can you imagine Kawhi Leonard on the damn Seattle Supersonics? Holy shit, he would bring that team back. It's so funny because, Kawhi Leonard's gonna fit anywhere, man. He's gonna make any team great. Well, apparently not the Clippers team, man. I don't really know. Although he had 41 points, I believe it was. So it was not exactly his fault. So that's all we got for this video, man. I know a lot of you guys probably came into this thinking I was going to roast Luke Kennard. That was not happening. I like his game. I still like his game. I understand the defense isn't there, but I also understand that he's a decently good offensive player, man. He needs to be given a chance on a team that's down 2-0. And so is Terrence, man. He needs to play more. And also, isn't Boogie Cousins on this team? Not sure, man. Thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to drop that like. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Go do my push-ups. Peace out, my friends. Okay, guys, we got 17 push-ups to do. I went to the gym earlier today, and it was just one of those days, man, where I just could not find the energy. I had a cup of coffee before I went. I also drank some pre-workout, and I even got there. Just all my arms were just like noodles, bro. Just kind of like, man, I can't move. I'm just so, I don't know, man. So hopefully these turn out pretty good. Even today, it's at this moment, my arms just feel kind of weak. I don't know. I took a rest day yesterday, so here we go. 17 push-ups. Do your best. Do your best. And forget the best. Rest. I don't know what I'm saying. Here we go, man. 17. Moving the hat. Hairline exposed. Actually, not looking too bad right now, man. There we go. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 15, 16, 17. Woo! Thank you guys.